Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Jayo Girivaradari Vallabha Jayo Girivaradari. Any kartas? Gopi Janavallabha Jayo Girivaradari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Jayo Girivaradari Gopi Janavallabha Jayo Girivaradari Yashoda Nandan Vajrajana Ramjana Yashoda Nandana Vajrajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada. Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paraparaja Kacharya Sutra Santa Srimati Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Prem Sago Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki, Sri Vrindavan Mayapur Dhama Ki, Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki, Ganga Jamuna Maya Ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Canto 5, the creative impetus, isn't it? Let me see. Yes, creative impetus, the descent of the river Ganges, text 22 and 23. So I read the number 22 first. Yasyadya asid guna vigraho mahan vigyana dishnyo bhagavan ajakila yatsambhavoham trivritha svatejasa vaikharikam tamasam aindriyam srije. Now please repeat with me. Ete vayam yasya vase mahatmanaha. Ete vayam yasya vashe mahatmana. Stita shakunta iva sutra yantrita. Stita shakunta iva sutra yantrita. Mahan aham vaikrita tamasendriya. Mahan aham vaikrita tamasendriya. Srijama sarve yat anugrahadidam. Srijama sarve yat anugrahadidam. Ete vayam yasya vashe mahatmana. Shtita shakunta iva sutra yantrita. Mahan aham vaikrita tamasendriya. Srijama sarve yat anugrahadidam. Jita sakunta iva sutra yantrita. Mahaniham aikrita tamasendriya. Yama sarve yat anugrahadidam. Ite vayam yasya vashe mahatmana. Shtita shakunta iva sutra yantrita. Mahanaham vaikrita tamasendriya. Srijama sarve yat anugrahadidam. Ite vayam yasya vashe mahatmana. Shtita shakunta iva sutra yantrita. Mahanaham vaikrita tamasendriya. Srijama sarve yat anugrahadidam. Ete vayam yasya vashe mahatmana. Jita shakunta iva sutra yantrita. Mahanaham vaikrita tamasendriya. Sarve yat anugrahat idam. Ladies. Devayam yasya vashe mahatmana. Tita Shakunta Iva Sutra Yantrita. Mahanaham Yakrita Tamasendriya. Sarjama Sarve Yat Anugrahad Idam. Give it a try. Ete vayam yasya vashe mahatmana. Stita shakunta iva sutra yantrita. Mahanaham vaikritatama sendriya. Srijama sarve yat anugrahadidam. Very good. Please repeat. Yasya, from whom. Adya, the beginning. Ashit, there was. Guna Vigraha, the incarnation of the material qualities. Mahan, the total material energy. Vijnana, of full knowledge. Dishnyaha, the reservoir. Bhagavan, the most powerful. Ajaha, Lord Brahma. Kila, certainly. Yat, from whom. Sambhavaha, born. Aham, I. Trivrita, having three varieties according to the three modes of nature. Svatejasa, by my material strength. Vaikarikam, all the demigods. Tamasam, material elements. Aindriyam, the senses. Srije, I create. Ete, all of these. Vayam, we. Yasya, of whom. Vashe, under the control. Mahatmanaha, great personalities. Stitaha, situated. Shakunta, vultures. Eva, like. Sutrayantritaha, bound by rope. Mahan, the Mahatattva. Aham, I. Vaikrita, the demigods. Tamasa, the five material elements. Indriyaha, senses. Srijamaha, we create. Sarve, all of us. Yat, of whom. Anugrahat, by the mercy. Idam, this material world. Translation. From that Supreme Personality of Godhead appears Lord Brahma, whose body is made from the total material energy, the reservoir of intelligence predominated by the passionate mode of material nature. From Lord Brahma, I myself am born as a representation of false ego known as Rudra. By my own power, I create all the other demigods, the five elements, and the senses. Therefore, I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than any of us, and under whose control are situated all the demigods, material elements, and senses. And even Lord Brahma and I myself, like birds bound by a rope. Only by the Lord's grace can we create, maintain, and annihilate the material world. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Being. So who's talking?
Shiva.
Lord Shiva, yes. It's prayer of Lord Shiva. Next verse is the last part of his prayer. Now, purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki. A summary of creation is given in this verse. From Sankarshan, Mahavishnu expands, and from Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu expands. Lord Brahma, who was born of Garbhodakashai Vishnu, fathers Lord Shiva, from whom all the other demigods gradually evolve. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu are incarnations of the different material qualities. Lord Vishnu is actually above all material qualities, but he accepts control of Sattva Guna, the mode of goodness, to maintain the universe. Lord Brahma is born from the Mahat Tattva. Brahma creates the entire universe, Lord Vishnu maintains it, and Lord Shiva annihilates it. The Supreme Personality of Godhead controls all the most important demigods, especially Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, exactly as the owner of a bird controls it by binding it with a rope. Sometimes vultures are controlled in this way. Yasyadya asit gunavigraho mahan vijnana dishno bhagavan ajakila yat sambhavoham tri vritta svatejasa vaikharikam tamasam aindriyam srije etevayam yasya vashe mahatmana stita shakunta ivo sutra yantrita mahanaham vaikrita tamasendriya srijama sarve yat anugrahadidam. From that Supreme Personality of Godhead appears Lord Brahma, whose body is made from the total material energy, the reservoir of intelligence predominated by the passionate mode of material nature. From Lord Brahma, I myself am born as a representation of false ego known as Rudra. By my own power, I create all the other demigods, the 5 elements, and the senses. Therefore, I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than any of us, and under whose control are situated all the demigods, material elements, and senses, and even Lord Brahma, and I myself, like birds bound by a rope. Only by the Lord's grace can we create, maintain, and annihilate the material world. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Being. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Ulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we're back to creative material energy, which has been repeated in the Bhagavatam quite a few times. First canto, second canto. Then in the third canto again, and now in the 5th canto with more detail. But it's repeated once again and again, and we can ask ourselves why so much repetition of this same topic. Even in Bhagavad Gita, we find 7th chapter, Krishna says, Bhumirapo nalo vayu kam manor buddhir evacha ahankaraiti amme binna prakritir asta. Very nice verse to learn. Remember, and I saw that verse written on the board once. I could understand. Bhumi, that means earth. Bhumirapo, water. Nalo, vayu. Vayu is the demigod of air. So air, vayu. Kam manor, mana is mind, like that. Bhumir apo nalo vayu kam manor buddhir evacha. So there's 5 gross elements. Krishna says earth, water, fire, air, and ether, or space. Ether can also be seen as space. So these are the 5 gross elements, and then mind, intelligence, and ego are the subtle elements. And why is this again and again emphasized? Because Srila Prabhupada explains in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that unless we actually understand our situation in this material energy, within this material energy, there's no way how to get actually free from the entanglement. We have to understand our situation and become humble. Srila Prabhupada gives a very interesting example about the external energy. As long as we think, everything is one, everything is the same, like in so many philosophies, esoteric, especially philosophies, everything is one, hippie philosophy as well, and so many philosophies in India, everything is one. It doesn't work. You have to understand that there's a difference between the material energy and the spiritual energy. Yes, for Krishna it's all one, but not for us. There's a difference between the social department and the police department. For the government it's the same. It's 2 departments, right? They take care of the citizens. But one takes care of the good citizens and the other takes care of the bad citizens. So with the government it's the same. But it depends on you under which department you are under. There's another example is like the shore, the seashore is normally, uncovered by water, and sometimes it's covered by the water. So sometimes we're without the water, we're out of the water, we're in the blazing material energy, suffering like hell, and sometimes the water comes, covers us, soothing like that. Srila Prabhupada gives this example. Another example that he gives to understand the difference between material energy and spiritual energy is the fingernails or hair of our body. They're connected to the body, but you can pinch your hairs. You don't complain. Or your fingernails, you cut them off, and it doesn't hurt. But as soon as I cut with the same scissors into your flesh, then that's a problem. It hurts. Yeah. So that's the example of external energy. Why is Krishna making this point in the Bhagavad Gita, for example, and Shukadeva Goswami over and over again? There's a difference between these 2 energies. Even though they come from the same source, they have different functions, or they're on different levels. Another very, very nice example that Srila Prabhupada gives is you have electricity, and you can connect a fridge or you can connect a heater. So it's your decision which one you connect, whatever result you want. But there's a big difference between the cold and the heat. It's exactly the opposite, right? But it comes from the same energy, the same source. So we say, Krishna's arrangement. No. Have you heard devotees say that? Krishna's arrangement? Yes. There's Maya and there's Krishna. So Maya is the external, Prakriti, energy, external energy. Actually, Prakriti means nature, right? And Maya is the external nature, of Krishna. And there's you. You're independent of, or supposedly independent of Krishna. Now you take the decision where you stand. It's both Krishna, right? Maya is also comes from Krishna. Maya dakshina prakriti suyate sanchara charam. Both comes from Krishna, but it is your decision on which energy you work. You always have that free will, every moment. The disciples were asking Srila Prabhupada, why somebody in ignorance, under the influence of drugs and this and that, how can he, surrender? Prabhupada says you always have that free will. Of course, from the mode of ignorance, it's more difficult, but by the mercy of a devotee who is under Krishna's energy, he can actually show you the way out of Maya. That is the mercy of the devotee. Krishna himself, he doesn't interfere with our free will. You can go up, like you go out on books. That is the beauty of book distribution, because you're right there in front of reality. Because you walk up to the person and you say, "Excuse me, sir, are you from this planet?" And they have the option. Now the option is there: Krishna or Maya. Like when I was in Brazil, I still kind of embarrassed about this, but I was staying at a hotel near a bus terminal, and one day I felt hungry, so I go out and I'm looking for a place to eat, and the devotees are chanting, and distributing prasadam right in the front of the bus terminal, and people are, some homeless were there and dancing, and I went straight past into the next restaurant to eat a huge piece of meat, I didn't even consider who are these people or what to... No. And then a few months later, I became a devotee. So, because there was a different approach. Devotees came up to me and started preaching to me and invited me to the temple, and suddenly it clicked. Slowly it clicked. So by the mercy of a devotee, because Krishna doesn't really interfere in our free will, like a father, Prabhupada says, yes, he says, "My dear son, please don't do this." We say, I want to do this. This is my desire. He says, "Please don't do it. No, I want to." Okay, go for it. And he doesn't interfere anymore. "My dear son, do as you like." And you can choose the material energy or you can choose the spiritual energy. But the devotee, he goes. He goes, even like, of course, the typical example is Lord Nityananda. He and was it Haridas Thakur? They went, and of course, especially Nityananda, he said, "Jagai and Madai, they're the most fallen, so if we make them into devotees, Lord Chaitanya will be glorified." And Prabhupada says, this is a preacher. He wants to glorify Lord Chaitanya, or in our case, Srila Prabhupada. And we give people these books. And like it or not, please take. Prasadam, same thing, of course. But the point is, your determination, it's not like, any devotee approaches a person in the street and the result will be the same. No, it depends on you, your determination. Like some people, like God brothers of Srila Prabhupada also said, by the mercy of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, he empowered Srila Prabhupada to do what he did. Any of us could have done the same. No, sir. You still have to receive the mercy. Everybody of us has the power to open his heart, big or small. It's not that, by the mercy of the spiritual master, anyone can do the same. No. You're empowered. Yes, the mercy is there. It's always there. But it depends on you who takes it. This is this is personalist philosophy, which means there is Krishna and there is you. You're different. And both of you have free will. Just like when somebody left the temple, Prabhupada, they asked Srila Prabhupada, whose fault is it? And Prabhupada said it's 50-50. The person, of course, if he wants to go or she wants to go, all right, what can you do? But still you have also the free will to go and say, hey, please stay. So it's the free will of both of us. So that's how preaching works. It's your determination, like Vaisheshika Prabhu, big book. I'm talking about book distribution a lot because the marathon is coming, that's why. Anyway, Vaisheshika Prabhu, one big North American Sankirtan leader, amazing devotee. I remember he came to Los Angeles 20 years ago, and he made that point. He was talking about book distribution. He says, you stay at the same corner somewhere in town with another devotee, and the devotee is distributing so many books, and you're standing there and you're not doing anything. They're not going out. For some reason, you're not connected. It's not that, it doesn't depend what you say. It's all, no, it's not all one. It's not all the same. No, it depends on you. And you will see that devotees can be extremely empowered to do amazing things. And that's not an ordinary thing. It's not that, you can do it as well, but you have to pick up the mercy. In other words, you have to surrender. The more you surrender, the more empowered you become. And it's not like, everything is Krishna's arrangement. No, there's Maya. And sometimes we are under Maya's influence, and then it's Maya's arrangement. Of course, that's Krishna too, but it's the external energy. It's not the same. Like that. So Bhagavad Gita is very much about these, to understand the dynamics in this material world. Wherever you go, not just book distribution, whatever service you do, whatever you do out there, you go to the supermarket, you see something happening, an accident happens. You immediately know, okay, this is not Krishna's arrangement. This is Maya's arrangement. This person is suffering because of his past deeds. Not everything is just Krishna's arrangement. No. Another example to understand this is that Maya is like a matrix. It's the same. It is Krishna in the sense that it's a machine setting up in a certain way and with the same rules for everyone. So if somebody suffers, you can't say, oh, why does God do that? Yes, it's Krishna. Krishna set up the machine, but it's set up in a certain way that it reacts. Like karma means action, right? Activity, which actually starts with desire. Karma means also desire. It starts at the desire, and then you get a certain reaction. In this lifetime, you get the reaction from your past lifetime. And in this life, you're preparing the results that will come in your next life. So that's why people suffer. Even though they're good people, they're still harvesting the results from their past life. What is that verse? Yonishu. That's the verse that explains this whole science of activity, right? It starts with the desire. Bhagavad Gita verse. Anyway, in this lifetime, you suffer the reactions from your past life, or you harvest the happiness. That's why the Bhagavatam says, Narada Muni says, why endeavor for happiness? Why are people running after happiness? And even modern psychologists say the same. They say, actually, happiness comes by itself, and it goes by itself. People have to learn that. That is a part of today modern psychology, that emotions come and go. That's what's one of the first things somebody has to understand when he starts, at least in Australia, I know that psychologists, they talk like that. They say, jealousy comes, envy comes, and happiness also comes and goes. They come and go. You have to learn how to deal with it. And Krishna says something similar or Narada Muni says the same. Why are we running after happiness? If it comes by itself, goes by itself. So you can say, well, okay, so why endeavor? But of course Krishna says that to Arjuna, that you have the right to act, but not to the result. And don't become attached to inaction. Because in this life, you're still preparing for the results to come in your next life. So that means don't become lazy. People think, I'll just stop working, right? And then I'm not going to get a reaction. But Krishna is saying that the wise actually understands that how inaction in action and action in inaction. You've heard that verse from Bhagavad Gita? The wise understands inaction in action and action in inaction. What does that mean? It means that if you just stop working, you still get a result. If you go in the mode of ignorance, stop working, in your next life, you get actually a result. But if you learn devotional service, which means action in action, anyway, you actually act, but because it's offered to the Supreme, there is no reaction. That's the whole science that Krishna is explaining in the Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter. He explains this whole thing, that in this life, you offer everything to Krishna. You don't have to change your position. You can still do the same work, but you please Krishna with it. Yes. You please Krishna. Is it pleasing to Krishna what I'm doing now? Srimad Bhagavatam class is on. Let me go back to sleep. Is this pleasing to Krishna, or is it pleasing if I go? In some exceptional cases, it might be, maybe you're sick. Better go to sleep. Recover. We're not saying, we're not going to be like fanatics, but this is devotional service, means you always ask yourself, is it pleasing to Krishna? And then the reaction will be taken away. And in your next life, you don't have to accept the material body to accept those reactions anymore. Like that. So at every moment you have this free will. Krishna or Maya. And it's up to you. So I've been a book distributor for more than 10 years, so that's why I give a lot of examples from that. And the marathon is coming up. And I strongly recommend everybody to try it. I'm not saying, throw your service and run out into the street and, create but if you can, if you have some time, try it. The matrix is right there. The enemy is right there in your face. And you have to surrender immediately, right now. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You have to become the empowered representative. And you will see that there's difference between you and other empowered representatives. And you can see Bhagavad Gita in front of your eyes. Easy. Now, why is Krishna saying, especially the preacher is very dear to me? Because if you come out of your comfort zone, Krishna is, in Nectar of Devotion it is said, Krishna is not alarmed, but it takes his attention if a devotee actually accepts suffering on his behalf. Like Srila Prabhupada, imagine having 2 or 3 heart attacks and in a foreign country, total materialistic. But he was connected with his spiritual master, and he did something unbelievable, almost uncomparable. He himself says, I heard it just recently in a class, he said it's the first time in history, it's never been heard, that religious books are sold and people give, money for religious books. And we have so many lakhs, as hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in through these books. Prabhupada was very proud of his followers who were sacrificing. And he would say it openly and challenge everybody. Here in Australia too, they were saying, how you maintain your temples? We sell books. We sell our books. And everybody, what? People are so interested in your movement, like that. And it is amazing. I mean, who can build something up in this world, and after you leave, it keeps growing, it keeps expanding. Okay, Christianity, different religion, but you never heard that they, expanded by selling their books. Like, at least during Prabhupada's time, that was the thing. And of course, and still, it's still a very amazing thing out of this world when you approach somebody with a religion. When I heard the first time I heard, go and sell religious books, I never would be able to do that. Like, I'm never gonna, no, it's like unheard of. What my friends gonna think? Even they were all the way in Switzerland, I was in South America. What my friends gonna think, if I go out there and with a religious book, oh my God, embarrassing. But I honestly tell you, once you overcome this fear, which is totally Maya, it's simply illusion throwing different, because you're holding like 30 hours. I mean, a Bhagavad Gita is at least 30 hours of kirtan, and give it, into someone's hand. At least 30, 40 hours of Krishna, 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 Krishna this, Krishna that. Or the Krishna book, like I got the Krishna book by, I'm pretty sure it was Harinamananda. I saw him on the back cover of the book, All Glories to the Sankirtan Devotees. Oh, this is the guy who gave me this book 15 years ago. Yeah. I remember I was like 4 or 5 years into the movement, I was reading, and then, this is the guy who gave me 15 years ago. So I was waiting in a parking lot, and somebody came and put these 2 Krishna books into my lap. And I was only 12 years old. Well, give a donation. George Harrison, the Beatles, India, okay. Gave him a donation. Can you give a little bit more for a coffee? Yeah, okay. Gave him 3 more coins. Oh my God. Anyway, these days we normally be very careful with children, right? Unless they're 18, you don't really give them the books. We've learned that lesson. But in those days, 85, like, it was still, what is it called? No man's land. Huh? Wild West, yeah, like. So I was 12, I got these books, then I had them on my shelf for 6 years, and then when my parents split, I really got shaken. I started actually reading them 6 years later. But because they were on the shelves and I was meditating on them, always thinking, I'm going to read these books, because the books are like deities. They're actually, Prabhupada says, they're like deities. Even people don't read them, they make spiritual advancement just by looking at them. Just by touching them, they make spiritual advancement like that. So it worked in my case. Anyway, I'll stop here. Any questions? I'll tell you the whole story on another day. How it unfolded. Yes?
Just one little example of today, that actually today there's 2 people coming from Bern that got books last week. And they said they will come all the way from Bern to see the devotees and learn about Krishna consciousness. So it still happens like this.
Yeah, I must say, I'm impressed that the people so quickly come to the temple just by receiving those books. The months I've been here, so many. Oh, I met a devotee in the street, and here I am. Like, I haven't seen that in other temples. Sorry.
Sunday also 2 came.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Chileans, oof. We distributed so many books. Most people come because they're looking for a girlfriend or a boyfriend or some prasadam, but books, like philosophy, forget it. There you have, no, seriously, you have dozens of people joining and dozens of people leaving. As soon as they got their initiation, it's like the Pope gave me baptism, Here's your beads. Okay. I'm saved. Now I can do whatever I want. Spiritual Master is so merciful. He will take me back to... That's how a big percentage of it's like they're very much influenced by Christianity, by this idea, the Spiritual Master, he saves me, he takes the karma, he will take care of me. And I'm so fallen, I can't follow. But the Spiritual Master is so merciful, he will still save me, And no matter how much you tell them, look, in our movement, it's a little bit different, And by the way, it doesn't work in Christianity also. You still have to follow. Doesn't matter. No, as soon as they have initiation, I would say at least 75% within a few weeks they disappear. Especially if they got their future wife or future husband. That's it. Yes. The temple is right in the middle of a student area. There's all these private universities, and it's so wild. Wild West is even an underestimation of what but it was great preaching, It was great preaching. But, yeah. And then Australia, oof, my God. I don't think I've seen one devotee join because of the books. It's always prasadam. Total prasadam addicts. Have you seen, you've been in Australia. It's always prasadam, or they're looking for a healthier lifestyle, Easy, easy, relaxed. Don't push too much, I know. Weather is fine. The beach is there. Surfboard is there. Don't talk to me about this material world, What are you talking about? Okay, there's a few sharks. Every now and then one gets, bitten in half, one of the surfers, but it's not that bad. Come on. Yeah. So Europeans, it seems like culture is what they convinces them. Huh? Yeah. Anything else? Otherwise, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai.
Prinzip können wir sich ja auch fragen, oder? Es gibt ja zwei Positionen. Die Leute gehen zum Tempel und dann hast du gesagt, 75% nach der Einweihung gehen einfach wieder. Aber klar, es gibt auch zwei Positionen. Man kann sich selber auch fragen, aus dem Tempel raus, warum hauen die ganzen Leute auf? Die scheinen andere Religionen, mehr oder weniger Christentum, Kirche leer. Im Tempel schauen wir den Tempel, hier schauen wir den Tempel voll. So, man kann sich immer selber fragen.
It depends. Also es hängt von uns ab.
Genau.
Es hängt von uns ab. Es ist nicht so, die kommen dann schon, dann gibst du die Bücher und
die bleiben dann einfach.
Ja, nein, es hängt von dir ab, wie du kultivierst.
Ja. Bhakti Mukundaswami hat auch dazu gesprochen. Kennst du auch? Bhakti Mukundaswami. Ja, mega stark.
Ah, da warst du hier, als er hier war?
Vor 1,5 Jahren. Ich glaube, er kommt ab und zu mal.
Er war hier.
Ja, finde ich sehr beeindruckend. Also,
Den habe ich schon in Malaysia kennengelernt.
Echt?
Der ist nach Australien gekommen.
Ja.
Schon vor 15 Jahren. Der war immer noch im Brahmachari.
Oh, wirklich? Ja. Also von den Lektor, die ich so gesehen habe, auch auf YouTube, fand ich ihn schon beeindruckend.
Ja, ist gut.
Einfach auch. Er macht das gern. Ja. Und mir hat gesagt, dass hier habe ich gesessen und gesagt, you have to be happy. Ja, ihr müsst glücklich sein.
Ja.
Wenn die Leute einfach nur das Programm folgen, weil es gemacht werden muss, dann ist es wie so eine Aura, die abstoßend ist. Für alle anderen, die reinkommen, dann ist irgendwas faul. Deswegen, es muss aus dem Herz kommen. So war das im Prinzip mal gesagt. Wenn man will, dass die Leute bleiben, dann muss man selber glücklich sein.
Aha.
Ganz wichtig. Ja.
Und bei jeder so kämpfen ist nicht.
Ehrlich gesagt, ich habe auch Kritik an manchen Sachen. Wenn ich eine Einweihung möchte, oder eine spirituelle Meister annimmt, so ganz logisch aus meiner Sicht, ich kriege einen neuen Namen, aber ein neues Leben. Und ich schwöre, 16 Runden, bis an mein Lebensende. Das ist schon, das schaffe ich nicht. Unmöglich. Und das mache ich nicht. Das ist so abstoßend. Das ist nicht, ich will da nicht angreifen, aber das ist ja ehrliche Meinung. Und ich bin schon lange unterwegs, aber ich will das niemals packen.
Und Prabhupada auch, der war schon 11 Jahre in den Devotees, unser Prabhupada.
Ja.
Und dann haben sie ihm für die Einweihung vorgeschlagen. Prabhupada hat gesagt,
Ja.
ich bin nicht ready.
Ja.
Und dann hat der Freund hat ihm gesagt, du bist niemals wirklich ready.
Ja. Ja.
Aber du musst irgendwann mal es anfangen. Und dann hat er eine Einweihung angenommen. Nach 11 Jahren.
11 Jahre. Prabhupada.
Ja, Prabhupada. Ja. Ja, fliegende Tempel, ne?
Aber auf jeden Fall war eine stabile Lektion.
Ja.
Danke dir.
Auch danke dir. Tu mein Bestes.